You're a knight who has survived 8 grueling years on the bloodiest battlefields known to man. Dragging yourself through mountains of corpses day in and day out, the only thing keeping you alive is the thought of your childhood sweetheart waiting for you back home. Finally, you return in triumph, covered in scars and ultimate glory. The monarch you serve personally rides out to welcome you and entrusts you with the highest honor, protecting the queen. But when you look up, heart pounding with anticipation, your blood runs cold. The woman sitting beside the throne, the mother of the kingdom, is none other than the first love you've been dreaming of for 8 long years. In these opening, grimly tinted shots, the director uses the heavy thud of horse hooves and the cold glint of armor to quietly lay down a tragic premise. The truest prison isn't a dungeon, but the loyalty and honor etched into a knight's very bones. Today, let's dive into an underrated fantasy masterpiece that perfectly blends political intrigue, betrayal, and forbidden love. The Covenant Knight, Cedric and Alysia. The story unfolds in the war-torn medieval kingdom of Pries. Our protagonist, the tragic hero we just mentioned, is Cedric. He's no ordinary soldier. He is the kingdom's apex fighter, a man who survived countless campaigns against monsters and demons to be anointed the legendary Covenant Knight. With border conflicts escalating and a mysterious assassin guild known as the Hakari targeting the Baron's wife, Pries' ruler, Baron de Cour, is forced to urgently recall his most trusted knight, Cedric, from the front lines. The Baron appears exceptionally exhausted and anxious. In the middle of an empty court, he pours out his frustrations and helplessness as a ruler to Cedric. He confesses that the circle of people he can trust is shrinking, and Hakari assassins from the Shadowblade Ring have already marked his beloved wife for death, like hunters stalking prey. If Pries' army crosses the New Salar border and encroaches on Atraki interests, his wife's life will be ruthlessly taken. With an unwavering gaze, Cedric solemnly swears to do everything in his power to protect her, fulfilling his vow as a Covenant Knight. But the very next second, a soft yet clear voice calls out, "Your Grace," from the second-floor balcony. Cedric looks up only to see the radiant Baroness Alysia standing there. His eyes instantly freeze. In that moment, time stands still. Oblivious to their past, the Baron proudly introduces the kingdom's greatest knight to his wife and deliberately gives them space to walk and catch up in the courtyard. In the deserted garden, the sun is shining, but the air is thick with a suffocating silence. 8 whole years. Their past vows of eternal love are now separated by the insurmountable chasm between a sovereign and a subject. Filled with bitterness, Cedric asks the question buried deep in his heart with a hoarse voice. "Why did you marry the Baron?" Alysia's answer is truly heartbreaking. After Cedric left, she was nothing but a lowly court serf, utterly powerless to control her own fate. After the old Baron's first wife, Lady Sifla, passed away, the Baron took a liking to Alysia while searching for an heir. Even when doctors later declared the Baron infertile, meaning his family bloodline would end with him, he didn't discard her as she expected. Instead, he married her out of pure love, and for the past 8 years, he has pampered and treasured her. Faced with such profound gratitude, Alysia couldn't refuse. She could only repay the Baron's love by fulfilling her duties as a wife, desperately clinging to her honor and refusing to cross any lines. Yet in countless lonely nights locked behind high palace walls, she would fantasize about returning to the Asturias coast, where her mother took her as a child. She imagined sitting on the edge of the cliff, watching the white and blue waves crash against the shoreline. She envisioned Cedric sitting right next to her, looking out at the ocean together. But in her dreams, her lover's face was always a blur. It wasn't until this exact moment, seeing him in the flesh, that she whispers, "I can see it clearly now. Your face has a beard and wrinkles it never had before." Cedric looks at her, his eyes instantly turning red. Fighting back a surge of tears, he replies, "I saw you in my dreams every single night. Every day I fought to survive on the battlefield. Making it to today was entirely for you." Despite being deeply in love, they are forced to bury their feelings deep inside within these palace walls, not daring to step out of line. Meanwhile, peace is a luxury in this ancient castle. Cedric reunites with his longtime brother-in-arms, Deacon, who is now the captain of the castle guard. But before the joy of their reunion can even settle, they are mercilessly swept into the undercurrents of the court's political whirlpool. To deal with the border crisis, the old Baron has summoned his own nephew, Arythis, known as the Bloody Prince. Freshly encamped from the front lines of Carrion, Arythis reeks of bloodlust. At the dinner banquet, he instantly reveals his aggressive nature and burning ambition. He advocates for a direct military strike against the Teridi of Salar, arguing that since they gained the upper hand in previous skirmishes, giving the enemy a chance to regroup is a massive dereliction of duty. When the old Baron demands he stay silent and respect the treaty signed with the Atrakis, Arythis openly disrespects him, showing zero regard for his uncle. He also holds total contempt for Cedric, dismissing him as an outdated Covenant knight. He even arrogantly challenges Cedric at the dinner table to a real duel to see who the superior warrior is. Though the Baron sternly shuts down the farce, it's clear to everyone this nephew is a dangerously unhinged warmonger. Late that night, lethal danger quietly descends. Alysia's handmaiden Hannah is acting highly suspicious. When she runs into Cedric in the hallway, she looks panicked and gives off a dirty, suggestive vibe Cedric has never seen before. Sensing something is off, Cedric's instincts kick in, just as a blood-curdling scream and the sound of a struggle erupt from Alysia's room. A fully armed Hakari assassin has breached the Queen's chambers. In the nick of time, Cedric bursts in, engaging the assassin in a brutal fight to the death in the dark. Sparks from clashing blades pierce the night. Relying on his raw combat instincts, Cedric hurls the assassin straight off the balcony to his death in the freezing courtyard below. Following this assassination attempt, the entire castle is plunged into unprecedented panic, and that brief, desperate embrace between Cedric and Alysia during the chaos speaks volumes about their heartbreaking reality. So close, yet impossible to be together. Prince Arythis rushes over to inspect the corpse. He adamantly claims the assassin is a merchant from northern Drind, deliberately trying to point the finger at the Teridi people. Deeply unsettled and under immense pressure, the old Baron makes a drastic decision. He orders the borders locked down, forbidding any man or woman of Teridi descent from entering the kingdom or the castle grounds. But Cedric, leaning on his years of battlefield intuition, acutely senses that something is incredibly wrong. Having fought the Shadowblade Ring before, he is absolutely certain this assassin does not belong to that guild. The rabbit hole goes much deeper. Even more suspiciously, that shady handmaiden Hannah has mysteriously vanished after the attack. The entire castle is searched, but she is nowhere to be found. Cedric's instincts prove dead on. In the quiet forest just outside the castle, Hannah is secretly meeting with a mysterious figure. And that figure is none other than Prince Arythis, the very man who cried wolf. It turns out this entire attack was a sinister scheme orchestrated by him. He bribed Hannah with Teridi Delrich gold coins to help the assassin infiltrate the castle. To save her own skin, Hannah leaks a bombshell secret to Arythis. The famously noble Covenant knight and the Baroness share an unspeakable, scandalous connection, and absolutely no one else in the castle knows. Armed with this lethal blackmail, Arythis cracks a cruel smile and then mercilessly murders Hannah to silence her for good. Armed with this secret, a hypocritical Arythis goes straight to the old Baron to fan the flames, systematically dismantling the Baron's psychological defenses. He deliberately hints that Cedric and Alysia are too close and bluntly asks, "Do you trust your wife?" At first, the Baron refuses to believe this cruel reality, but when he confronts Alysia in a fit of absolute rage and humiliation, she breaks down. Through her tears, she confesses that she has loved Cedric since they were children, and that love never died, not even the moment he rode back into the castle. Even as she cries that she restrained her feelings for 8 years, preserving her honor to repay her master's kindness without ever crossing the line physically, the Baron's masculine pride is shattered into a million pieces. The Baron roars in grief and fury. "I elevated you from a servant to a queen. I loved you every day and every night. Was that not enough? Is bringing shame to my house how you repay this love?" Blinded by jealousy and a profound sense of betrayal, the Baron immediately orders Cedric's arrest for treason.
Что происходит?
And the man tasked with executing the arrest is none other than Cedric's best friend, Captain Deacon. Not only does the Baron throw Cedric into the death row dungeon, but he also loses his last shred of reason, absurdly handing over the duty of protecting his wife to the true mastermind, Prince Arythis. He places Alysia under strict house arrest, forbidding her from taking even a single step outside her door. In the dark, damp dungeon, a smug Arythis pays a visit to the chained Cedric, spilling his entire psychotic master plan. It turns out that during a pilgrimage to Valak, Arythis witnessed the terrifying, death-defying fanaticism of a Hakari assassin. To complete his mission, the assassin leapt off a railing without a moment's hesitation or an ounce of regret. From that moment, Arythis realized that no armor is thick enough to stop a throat-slitting blade in the night or poisoned wine in a cup. Facing these shadowy killers, he felt a bone-chilling fear and helplessness for the first time. So, to avoid being targeted by the Hakari, he had to strike first and provoke a war. If he hired someone to kill Alysia, the enraged Baron would lose his mind and lead Pries's army straight into the heart of Salar for revenge. Once the Baron's army is wiped out in a Teridi trap, Arythis would not only rightfully inherit his share of the land, but he would also be permanently safe from Hakari assassins. This willingness to sell out his own family and spill the blood of his countrymen just to save his own skin makes Cedric sick to his stomach. Cedric furiously denounces him as a spineless, disloyal coward, but Aerethus just lets out a chilling sneer. My loyalty belongs solely to my own life. What's even more despairing is Aerethus' revelation. The Baron has already ordered Cedric to be publicly executed at dawn, ensuring he dies in ultimate humiliation to quench the Baron's thirst for revenge. Down in the dungeon, Cedric seemingly hears her cry and struggles violently to break his chains. Alysia, strictly confined and guarded by heavily armed soldiers outside her door, is cornered. Desperate, she begs her new handmaiden Jandice to find Captain Deacon at all costs. In this cold castle filled with betrayal, this is her only hope to save her love. Risking her life, Jandice manages to find Deacon in the chaotic castle. When Deacon pushes open Alicia's door, she's already prepared to burn it all down. With tear-filled eyes, she tells Deacon how she endured years of silent suffering, never crossing the line, purely to repay the Baron's kindness. But what has this so-called honor brought her? Only punishment for a crime she didn't commit and the impending brutal death of the man she loves on the execution block. With tragic fury, she questions herself and the world. When will she ever truly live for herself? Listening to Alicia's sobbing pleas and looking at the friend he grew up with, Deacon's internal defenses completely collapse. He knows Cedric's true character, and he knows this is highly likely a setup. Resolutely, Deacon takes Alysia down to the dungeon and frees the battered Cedric. But just as they prepare to flee under the cover of darkness, the castle's piercing alarm rips through the night. Discovering his wife is gone, the furious Baron orders every tower and corner searched, demanding they be dragged back, even if they have to tear the castle apart. Under the veil of night, the trio gallops desperately toward the coast. But Aerethus catches their trail. Aerethus and his heavily armed men block their path. Playing the honorable man, he offers Cedric a fair duel, but in his mind he's already calculated the odds. His opponent has been tortured in the dungeon, is severely injured, and is far too weak to parry his attacks. Cedric doesn't back down. To protect his beloved Alysia behind him, he firmly draws his heavy broadsword. Their blades clash fiercely in the sea wind, producing deafening metallic shrieks. Every swing is accompanied by heavy, desperate gasps. Ultimately, Cedric's severe injuries take their toll. After several brutal exchanges, he loses ground. He's struck down hard by Aerethus, letting out a cry of agony as his sword slips from his grasp. Just as Aerethus raises his sword to deliver the killing blow, a miracle happens. The ever-restrained Deacon suddenly erupts, charging into the fray like a god of war, putting every ounce of his strength into it. He heavily wounds Aerethus, saving Cedric in the absolute nick of time. Looking at the fallen villain, the three of them pant heavily. Cedric tries to take Deacon with them, but Deacon just offers a bitter smile and shakes his head. He calmly tells Cedric, "You've already done enough for me." Deacon knows all too well that the Baron's wrath is fully ignited. If they all run, this hunt will never end. Someone must stay behind to bear the brunt of the Baron's fury. He chooses to trade his own life for his brother's freedom. In his parting moments, Deacon takes a long, deep look at the star-crossed lovers. There are no grandiose speeches. He only leaves behind one soul-shaking sentence. Remember, keep loving her until the end of your days. This is a true brother. This is the highest, most selfless elevation of the knightly spirit. The Baron's pursuers will eventually find this place. The land that once raised them is no longer their home. Alysia looks at the battered Cedric, her eyes full of reluctance and sorrow. She knows the Baron still truly loves her, and she still bears the inescapable shackles of duty and honor. If they drop everything and elope right now, their love will forever be shadowed by shame and guilt. For their love to remain pure and solely theirs, they cannot be together yet. Cedric gazes deeply into Alysia's eyes and makes an incredibly heavy vow. They will go their separate ways, just like they did years ago. Their hands won't touch, their eyes won't meet, but he will wait for her, day and night, until one day, when the hard stones of this world's castles crumble, when the chains that bind them silently fade away, they will look out at the open ocean once more. There, on the endless, glassy silver waters at the edge of the world, she will see his love again. Accompanied by the rolling waves, the knight's lonely silhouette slowly fades into the horizon, leaving only an eternal legend echoing over the Asturias Sea. The Covenant Knight is absolutely a severely underrated hidden gem. It doesn't rely on flashy magical CGI, nor does it have a mindless, non-stop feel-good plot. Instead, it captures that suffocating medieval sense of fatalism, being locked down by honor, duty, and class, in a way that genuinely tightens your chest. Using incredibly restrained cinematography, the director shows us the true meaning of chivalry. Cedric's strength lies not in how many monsters he can slay, but in how he holds fiercely to his loyalty to love and his faith, even in the face of betrayal and death. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next video.